Hello guys, we have a 14 game MLB slate on Wednesday, July 27th. Kind of weird one today actually. A lot of morning games, afternoon games. There are zero late night games. So some weird scheduling here, but let's get the picks going here with first inning runs allowed. Gonna have one here and we're going to Coors Field. This one did not hit on Tuesday, but we're looking at some weaker pitchers here on Wednesday. And another thing is this is an afternoon game now, so it's going to be hotter and just better hitting conditions. The pitchers are going to be Lucas Giolito, who's just absolutely been terrible this season. He's still getting strikeouts, but this Rockies team, especially when they're playing at home, they do limit their strikeouts. And the other side, Antonio Senzatella. Senzatella, definitely the guy that we're trying to target here. The White Sox, they're a good offense. They should be able to score off of him. Of course, if we do get the hits prop for this game, then I'm going to prefer that one, and that would be a tier 1 play. For this one, still, I could totally see it because it is a first inning run prop, so it's going to be really rare for me to just say that anytime there's a yes or no run first inning prop, that I'm going to have it as a tier 1. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and make it tier 3 for the over. On to strikeouts, there is one here in Luis Castillo, 6 strikeouts, taking the over. I think it's at least good for a push against the Marlins. The Marlins, they have a few more left-handed bats now, but these left-handed bats are not good. So I don't really see that as a problem. Castillo, his K rate, I mentioned that because his K rate is a little bit worse against lefties, but that's pretty normal for pitchers. You're going to have a lower K rate to the opposite side, but 23.4 against lefties, that's still really solid. And these lefties, you got Joey Wendell, he doesn't really strike out. Rojas, righty, and then Williams Astudillo. If Astudillo's in the lineup, that's going to be really annoying because he's just one of those guys that doesn't strike out. But like somebody like Bleede, I think that's how you say his name, he's a guy that does strike out according to his minor league numbers. And then some of these other guys, they're dealing with a lot of injuries. So, it kind of sucks that we don't have Josh Chisholm, Jorge Soler, who both of those guys do strike out a ton. But, they will still have some Ks in here because these bats that are replacing them, they're really not that great. But the Marlins, their lineup is kind of weird right now. They have been dealing with injuries again, like Garrett Cooper. He's been out. Aguilar was out today. So we're going to have to check in on the lineup here. But I think Castillo, there have been trade rumors around him. The one thing that worries me is, if they're going to try to protect him, not get him hurt, so he doesn't pitch as long as he does. In that case, then this one is a little bit in danger, but you can't really predict that. And if he's going to go the full length, I like it. Tier 2 play for me. One of my favorite ones on the board right now. And then now moving on to pitcher fantasy score. There is one here. It is an under. Logan Webb at 37.5 against the Diamondbacks. Logan Webb, he was a very good pitcher last year. He's not bad this year, but his numbers, they definitely could be better. There's some red here, but really he's kind of in the middle of the pack in terms of percentile rankings. And for someone that's going to be projected this high of a line, it feels like it's a little too high. Maybe it should be more like around 33, 34.5. Just take a look. Like Max Scherzer. I mean, his matchup is a lot tougher, obviously, but Scherzer's just so much of a better pitcher, and he has a 1 point lower line. Like Luis Castillo, I would rather have Castillo, but Webb's line is the same as him. So just looking at the board, I feel like Webb is a little bit too high. The Diamondbacks, they will be playing at home. They have a lot of good left-handed batters that can definitely get the Webb, and Webb does have some splits. The homers, not quite with the power, but his walks, he just gives up a lot more to left-handed batters. Pulling up his stats, so his K rate, it's been down this season. He just doesn't, for whatever reason, he doesn't really strike guys out. He's a very heavy ground ball pitcher, so that's something that is going to allow him to get those outs. But Zach Gallen on the other side, this is the Diamondbacks' best pitcher on the mound, and I don't think it would be surprising to see the Diamondbacks win this game, or at least make it that the Giants win after or they take the lead after Webb is already gone. So I don't think the win is safe, and I feel like this projection is saying that Webb is going to win this game, like a very high chance of that. And yeah, I definitely have doubts on that. So that's why I do like the under. I think this one is going to get bumped down. The next play, another pitcher, but this pitch is thrown. Max Scherzer, 96.5. Taking the over on this one. He he usually does go like over 100, but because he's back from injury, I think, let me make sure. This might be like his third, maybe his fourth start back from injury. So obviously they took it easy with him early on. This is his fifth start actually. And I just feel like this matchup, there's a lot to it. I mean, it's New York versus New York. You know, the Yankees. Scherzer is definitely that kind of guy that is going to really relish the big stage here, pitching at home. And I think this is going to be a spot where Scherzer can get at least 97 pitches. It certainly makes sense. He's also someone that really will try to beg his manager to let him stay in the game. Like, he'll fight for it. So I think this is an over. I think he definitely exceed over 100. So I think this is probably like 2 pitches a little bit too low. So I lean towards the over here. But pitch count props, you know, they are kind of all over the place. So I'm not going to have the most confidence in this one. This is going to be a tier 3, but a lot of things do make sense for this one. And now onto hitters for fantasy score. Jose Ramirez is at 7.5 against Nathan Eovaldi. Taking the over on J-Ram. Eovaldi is someone who gives up a lot of stolen bases. So if you wanted to, you could take Rosario and Steven Kwan, but J-Ram, he's just a much better hitter than both these guys. Also leads the team at least ahead of these two guys in stolen bases. So I mean, why not J-Ram then? You know, this is the guy. He hits better as a lefty. And Eovaldi, he had a tough start last time out. He's not a bad pitcher, but it just seems like this is probably a point too low. Wouldn't be surprised if it moves to 8.5 because PrizePicks has been bumping lines for hitters' fantasy scores as well. But, you know, they're playing away, so they're going to play 9 innings for sure, batting. And J-Ram just in a good hitting spot. Eovaldi hasn't looked the greatest so far recently, and it's a very good stolen base spot. You add all those things together, and especially because J-Ram, he does walk. If he's going to get on base, you know, on first, he can definitely steal second. That is his opportunity. So that's a big plus for him. But for Rosario and Kwan, they will be personal plays. Prefer Kwan over Rosario. These are your 1, 2, 3 hitters. So if you want to take them together, it's perfect correlation there. A total bases play. Willie Adames over 1.5. He's actually available for hits and walks as well. But I think I prefer with the total bases. Taking on Chris Archer. Archer does walk a lot of guys. But the reason why I'm taking total bases is because Adames, he just strikes out a lot. And even though Archer doesn't have a high K rate, Adames, he doesn't hit for a high average. He's pretty low in the percentiles for it. I'll pull up both of their stats. But I'm going to take total bases because all we need is really, well, of course, 1 extra base hit. Or he could do it with 2 singles, but I think he definitely is in a good spot for an extra base hit here. So, you know, he does strike out, but expected batting average, that's the reason. Very low walk rate. It's not bad, but, you know, Archer, he doesn't really pitch deep in a game. So you might only see 2 at-bats against this guy for Adames. And Archer, he's a fastball slider guy, as you can see. And Adames hitting those 2 pitches, fastball slider. Slider, he has a 9-run value. So this is a very good spot hitting-wise for Adames. He absolutely crushed fastballs last season. And I think, you know, when you're sitting fastball, that's how most hitters do. And then you can hit the other pitch, the slider. Pretty much bread and butter for Archer here. Uses it even more than fastball. I like his spot. So taking the 1.5 total bases. And then for, actually just added Cardinals, but not going to attack Gossman. But if they do add Ohtani, CJ Cron, and really the Coors guys, like the White Sox, obviously the good ones, Tim Harrison, Jose Abreu, maybe even Moncada, but I feel like you're better off getting better odds, better value elsewhere. but the Dodgers with Mookie Betts, Trey Turner against Patrick Corbin. So those will be overs if they do put him up. And then a personal play is also Alex Verdugo at 6.5. Cal Quantrill just, he's been kind of getting lucky, also pitching away. We just got Blue Jays. They are facing as Wainwright, so not really someone I do attack. So not going to go with these guys. Yeah, we'll check back with the Dodgers and the rest of these total bases. And, of course, the runs and RBIs. But, yeah, that's it for the video for now. I'll give out the stolen base pitchers. There are some, quite a bit. Darvish, Quantrill, Eovaldi, Cindatella, Burns, Webb, Giolito, Gossman, Marco Gonzalez, Heaney, and Rasmussen, who do allow above 70% success rate on stolen bases. Well, we are talking JRM, of course, with the Guardians, but some of these other ones, it just feels like their hitter fantasy score is already kind of too high. But how I'm going to rank these plays, Castillo's, they're tier 2. There's no tier 1 for me as of now. Castillo, JRM, Webb, Adames, tier 3, Scherzer, and then yes, runs for ascending for the Coors game. That is it for the video, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Good luck on this slate, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.